Can't even go live yet.
I know, literally like a day and a half later, it's like, I gotta do myself like that.
All right, everyone, we're gonna go ahead and get started now. So just to get started, I'm gonna just quickly go through my announcements. First thing is Slack etiquette. A couple of the secretaries have notified me that you guys are not being super responsive with Slack. Can you please make an effort to do so? Both Slack and email, you guys should be checking daily or every other day. And please respond to your secretaries, whether that's a reaction or in any way. Please notify them of any absence within 24 hours or more, just so they can know whether they're going to meet quorum. It's not cool to plan a meeting and then have people not show up, and it kind of sucks. In terms of attendance and excuses for Senate, please talk to Speaker Pro Tempore Orlando here. Please do not send me anything. All I do if I don't respond to you, I just forward it, and it's really also not my job, but please send it to Lucas. In terms of Senate meetings, please be sure that, especially when we have guests, but also in general, do not be doing other things on your laptop. In general, Scott can see, and all the secretaries behind you can see what you're doing on your laptop, and can tell me who is online shopping, gambling, etc., doing homework. Some exciting things coming up this weekend is the homecoming football game. I am working on I'm trying to set up a tailgate for us. I'm really sorry it's so last minute. I reached out about 2 weeks ago. It's just been kind of like pending. So be on the lookout for any information regarding tailgating coming from me. That'll be like an event for all of you guys to be able to come to before the game, kind of hang out. Hopefully I can pull off catering as well between now and Saturday. But just be on the lookout for an email from me or like Slack message regarding that. Hopefully I'll be able to do it. Additionally, Secretary Payne is being recognized for Love and Honor Cup. So I really hope that all of you guys can make it, even if it's just to watch the football game or whatever. Support each other, support our school, homecoming, have fun. Additionally, Secretary Alford will also be talking about a wellness event that she's basically been planning, which will be on the 13th of November. So more of that information will be talked about by her. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve this consent calendar now. All right, there's been a motion to approve the consent calendar by unanimous consent. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, I'll also entertain a motion to reorder report item B.
Motion to reorder item B.
For the purpose of
Today,
the speaker's time.
speakers.
All right, there's been a motion to reorder report item B for the purpose of the speaker's time. That's been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Cool. All right, well, everyone please help me welcome Secretary Ambrose in presenting about the INS committee. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so jittery. I think I had too much coffee.
You got one of the words right. I just speak to this, right? All right. Hi all. My name is Leo Ambrose. I'm the Secretary for INS, Infrastructure and Sustainability, and I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's up with us. This shouldn't take too long. All right, cool. So some updates that my committee's been working on. We were trying to get the bicycle-friendly designation, so Jules actually sent that out in Slack for us. Thanks, Jules. And basically, we're just trying to get Miami University to be the bikes, to get the bike friendly title. So that survey ended on October 10th. I don't have any updates on that, unfortunately, but I just wanted to let you guys know. Part of my committee / part of like the Student Sustainability Council did some Oscar AI tabling where basically one person was at one of the various Oscar stations in either Red Zone, across from Emporium, or the one by Cafe Lux, and basically instructed people on how to, basically how the Oscar AI system worked. So that was probably about a couple weeks, well, not a couple weeks ago, but like, that was for about 2 weeks. And then the next big update is Sustainability Week. So this is more of part of my role for the Student Sustainability Council. It's our, it's an annual event, and Sustainability Week is just basically all the green orgs hosting events, and we're hosting that October 23rd to October 29th. So I actually have a flyer here, which is the various events happening, as well as the various organizations a part of it. INS will be tabling both this week to advertise it, so we'll be tabling tomorrow and Thursday, and basically we're handing out our reusable straws at those tables, so they'll both be from 11 to 1. Wednesday, Thursday, so if you want to get a reusable straw, feel free to. We're just handing them out, as well as telling people about Sustainability Week next week. INS committees also tabled the week after, and we're giving out our reusable bags. So basically, it's a tote bag, and basically, it's a fairly nice tote bag. So we'll be tabling on October 24th and 26th. So if you guys want to stop by, grab a tote bag, feel free to. And if you want to check out any of the events for Sustainability Week, also feel free to. And we'll have a flyer, or we'll have this flyer at the tabling. So if you guys are interested, feel free to stop at the tables. Also, the tabling will be at Armstrong, so just like on the slant walk. Future developments. Part of this is just some of the list of some of the things INS is going to be working on. So one of them is the campus accessibility map. We're going to be collaborating with On-Campus Affairs with Secretary Payne on that. Along with that, we have lunch containers for basically, we want to give these to like commuter students because they're more likely to need to like have to bring a lunch since they don't live on campus. So we're going to be working with the commuter center to give out our little lunch boxes to them, so that way students have a reusable lunch box, so that way they don't have to carry using disposable bags or something like that. That way they have like an actual lunch box to carry the lunch in. Our other thing is we're working on something with the SEALs, which is like a green event workshop. So Senator Gay last year did essentially a green event workshop like with SEALs, and basically part of this is like the workshop is to give like student organizations ideas and like how to plan a green event, how to do that, and that also falls in line with President Smith and Vice President Jefferson's kind of green funding. So basically, this is just kind of an additive to that, to like help orgs trying to figure out how to plan a green org and possibly get that green funding in as well. The next part is essentially part of this was presented to us, cabinet. It fell under my committee, so it's the Green Restaurant Association certificate. So INS is planning on looking into trying to get that certification specifically with Western Dining Hall to get essentially, that's more of like a long-term goal, like beyond me, but like to try to get that set for Western and then hopefully getting it to all dining halls to get the Green Association certificate, Green Restaurant Association certificate. And then just addressing student concerns. So make sure, like they always say, get student concerns in. We're looking forward to addressing any student concerns that are contained, that fit in with INS, and I mean also just submit your student concerns so that way we're able to address those, just as a general thing. And then last thing I had was just any questions on anything.
All right, you guys can click in if you have any questions for Secretary Ambrose. Gotta be at least one. Secretary Farquharson, or Senator Farquharson. Oh my God. I need to go.
Hey, Ms. Kent, you mentioned the Oscar AI thing. Like, what is the Oscar AI system?
So the Oscar AI system, so there's one in Red Zone, there's one across from Cafe Lux. So if you walk out, turn to the left, basically it's the TVs and it's the three trash cans. So there's recycling, trash, and compost. And basically the Oscar AI system, like it like has a camera, and like if you put something on it, it tells you where it goes. So if hypothetically, so if I show them this, they'll tell me, I think it actually says drink your liquids, which they,
Yeah, it says poured out.
well, if it's empty, it's also going to tell you, like, show the recycling, because it's a water bottle, so throw it in there. So basically, it kind of just informs you on telling you, like if something's trash, if something's compostable, or something recyclable. So they're scattered throughout Armstrong. They're only on Armstrong right now, but yeah. I mean, start of the year, they're still trying to. They were trying to get the kinks out. They've done a better job at it now, so it's a better system now. But yeah, basically what it is.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. And also, there's my email. Also, if you guys have any questions or just want to reach out with anything, you can also just send me a Slack message. So either email me, Slack. I'll be accessible either way. So.
All right, thank you so much, Secretary Ambrose. Next, I will once again entertain a motion to reorder special business item A. All right, there's been a motion to reorder special business item A for the purpose of the speaker's time. That's been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Cool. All right, everyone, please welcome Student Body President Smith and Student Body Vice President Jefferson.
How y'all doing?
Great.
Hi, Jules. Yes.
Hi, Naya.
Hi, thank you. Yes, and we love the participation because we do have some quick questions coming up at the beginning that we're gonna need a bit of calm response. I'm gonna need you guys to talk to me, so, yeah.
So this is our table of contents. So I guess I should have said that's our agenda for a quick presentation. So first we're gonna play Guess Who's Who. So when I have a question, it's going to be Naya or me. So you just gotta figure out who's who. And then just a little update on our initiatives, and then just housekeeping stuff. So, again, we're guessing which one's which. So, who is more likely to be up doing break at 12 a.m. or 5 a.m.?
Both.
Okay, I need some. We got some, what's it called, contention? Is that no? What's the other word? I need other voices, yes.
You guys can just shout these out. I'm not going to be able to click you guys in.
Say that again?
12 a.m.
Okay.
I was sure, I was sure.
Okay, who thinks both? Her, I like that, yes, yes. And then who thinks 5 a.m.? Yeah.
In your
So yeah, Naya's way more likely to respond to a late night text. I'm more likely to just email you.
she'll text, well, really, to start, she had 4 a.m. And I was like, Jules, they're gonna think that you stayed up all night, not that you just woke up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So I have gotten texts from Jules responding to my messages at like 4:30.
The more you know. Okay, so who's more likely to have bath and body aromatherapy or essential oils?
Naya is the essential oils, you are Bath and Body.
So that, and you are correct. Yes. Naya usually has them. You can tell, like, if you go to the, like, if you see the inner office, I do have my little lotion right here. Okay, so we both love soccer. Who saw the U.S. Women's National Team, and then who saw FC Cincinnati? You know, you gotta just give a guess. No one's incorrect. This is all just fun.
Naya saw U.S. women's team, Julie saw FC
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
I love how you're like always opposite. But hey, the minority won this time. I saw U.S. Women's. She saw FC Cincinnati.
That was my first professional soccer game that I ever saw.
Actually,
And
I
I
loved
loved
it.
it.
Yeah, because that was my first professional too. Okay, who's more likely to be on a cruise? Who's more likely to be on the beach? Or wants to be?
Jules is more likely to be on the beach, and Naya is more likely to be on the cruise.
No, I think it's the opposite. So,
And I love a boat. And I love a floating hotel.
Never been on a cruise. Been on all the cruises. Okay, who is the Browns fan? Who's the Bengals fan? Obviously, one party's incorrect, one party's very much correct.
Naya is a Browns fan. Naya is a Browns fan.
Yes, she's from the Greek tragedy of Cleveland. It is Canton, she's from Canton. I'm the Bengals girl, so that's why I said that. I do not hate on anyone who's Cleveland or Canton out there. I love you, but for the sake of the purpose, I will hate for the Browns. Oh. So who is more likely to use an exclamation point or a period in an email?
Naya is more likely to use a period in an email.
It's Venus in the background. It is the opposite. I don't use a lot of periods. So I'll start with like, I hope you're doing well, period.
Like, you're being mean.
I promise you it's coming from a smile. It's just like my mentors always use periods. She's, her, like, the amount of exclamation points.
And you've already dogged me in the Browns, so. So we really just wanted to do that a bit because I know that our positions may seem a bit like scary and out of touch. However, we want you to know that like we are humans too, and we're students too. So we have things that we like and things that we enjoy as well, and that also too, so that you got to know us a bit. So maybe if you have commonality, or know that you can come to us really whenever, whether that's fun things or more serious things as well.
So, next part is our initiatives. So, first of all, like, we're just bringing up to like our platform we ran on. And so with Unity, we actually have completed them both. Shout out to our amazing secretaries in the background for going and presenting. Thank you all, especially because you know, like telling the students what they want, and like the students who came. Thank y'all for like learning a little bit more about ASG then. We really wanted more people just to know what amazing work y'all are doing and just being more transparent. And then you want to take right now?
Yeah. So for our Red Hawk Day of Service, we had it on September 30th, and we had over 100 students participate, 10 staff members, and we were at over 15 sites. So first, I just want to say thank you all to all of you, and those of you who could come, who could support this event, and we're hoping that it can be something that becomes honestly tradition on our campus. There are so many other universities that have days of service and things that they do. However, like Miami doesn't have that. So we're hoping that that can be something that's continued, and we can start to create the infrastructure that makes it so that that is the case. We've gotten a lot of good feedback from our community partners, which is always really helpful, and it's really helpful to create a better town-gown relationship and serving, honestly, the people who serve us. And so our secretary, senators, everyone in AHG, along with so many other students who participated, did such great work, and we are very grateful. So, yeah.
Okay, so on to sustainability infrastructure. So you just heard from Leah, kind of talking about the green event funding. So it will be housed in the hub. So we're working on the form now, alongside Venus as well. And then with our pay instead of gauge, we are working with MUPD for that because parking is surprisingly housed under MUPD. I thought that's
Because they give you tickets and booze.
that.
And I have been victim.
She's been booted, is what she's
And
trying to say.
I have been booted. Yeah.
So, the Sarge, no, what's, it is Sergeant was very happy with our initiative. So now it's just getting elevated to the chief. And we're still partnering with Wilkes with that, so it would be on the Community Connect platform, where you can sign up and register for hours.
All right, last but not least, we have empowerment. So to begin with our career clothing closet, we are in conversation with Brent Schwab about ways in which we can create a better system of providing career clothing to and on campus. We have, the Career Center does a lot of good work. However, if you have an interview tomorrow, where are you gonna get your clothes? So we're in conversations with those. We're working on getting the service day and everything planned before we fully started working on that. Just to kind of give an update. Also for our mental health screenings, we got the opportunity to partner with the Office of Student Wellness. They did Fresh Check Day, which was a mental health fair at the Seal. It's a really cool experience and opportunity. Each booth was related to a specific mental health concern, which was super cool and exciting. And AHG got to do, and then mental health screenings were there. So it was in conversation of talking to the Office of Student Wellness over the summer, making sure that when they were planning their Fresh Check Day, that mental health screenings were there and were available for students, and then we were able to help promote those. But our specific booth was tailored towards What's Your Elephant? So Elephant in the Room. There's so many stigmas relating to mental health, and a lot of stigmas that create us and make us hide parts of our stories, but then that makes us feel like we're alone. So this was a really cool experience where people got to put their elephant and put something that was weighing them down, something that they struggled with, and got to pin it on a line. So then as people walked through, they were able to see things that people struggled with in spaces where students across campus struggle, so that they could see like, other students are experiencing this too, and I'm not alone. So shout out to Senator Day and Hope of Table. Really appreciate it. So our goal with kind of showing you our initiatives to, we'll back up just a bit because I get excited when I see donuts too. We really wanted to show you our initiatives and where we're at on those because we wanted to make sure that we ran on things that we said we were going to do, but we want to make sure that we're being held accountable for doing what we said we were going to do and making sure that we're following up and following up on our word and keeping true to our word and being consistent and reliable. So that's kind of why we decided to share those. However, we have other exciting things going on as well.
Yeah. So next week, we're gonna have donuts with us. They're free donuts. Stop by as you walk into class. Like, don't feel like this is mandatory, but you know, you guys go get your free donuts. So like, why not show up? We're gonna be getting Kelly's Bakery because unfortunately, the Oxford Donut Shop is closed on Tuesdays. So
until we're beef with Dunkin'.
oh yeah, Dunkin' is just not it for us. We're gonna get some good donuts that are freshly made. And I'm not saying Dunkin' is not freshly made. However, Jack back there works at Dunkin', and if you want the secrets, you need to ask him. So we'll be driving down to Hamilton to get the good donuts for y'all, good quality. I will be driving to Hamilton to get the good donuts for y'all. So just stop by, and also if you really want a flavor, like again, I'm picking them up, so just email me, Slack me, I got you. Next is etiquette dinner. So I sent something out today about signing up. Shout out to Gracie for getting the cute graphic up there. So it's November 8th, 6 to 8, and it is professional attire. So you're going to be able to mingle and meet with students, amazing students across the campus, also administrators, and then we'll also have an etiquette. So when you're going to like those professional events in the future, as you're going for like interviews, you know what to do at an etiquette dinner. You're like, oh, which fork do I use? You're getting that information now. This is just a QR code. If you haven't, please sign up on the Sign Up Genius. I'm like, if you wanted to quickly do your phones, I'm okay with that, but then put them back away. But just get on the Sign Up Genius because we have the reason why it's not on Google Forms is I wanted to close after a certain amount. So one Sign Up Genius today. And also put your dietary restrictions, just sign for that if you have any, and then the org you're representing would be ASG.
All right, so also, if you're wondering other things we do, because that may seem like really ominous and like, what do you guys do all day? We wanted to kind of also create a bit of transparency and also a bit of understanding of like some of the behind the scenes stuff. So this is not an exhaustive list, but just some things that both of us do. Some are things that one of us does versus the other, however we added them all into one list. University Senate Exec Team, Student Life Council, the Institutional Committee on Mental Health, the Armstrong Student Center Board. We meet with the Provost, the Dean of Students, and various other administrators monthly. The Retention Committee, Student Trustee Search Committee, various other search committees as people leave Miami, as people retire, as things change across campus. There are often search committees that come up, and I have gotten to serve on a search committee, and we also kind of have that opportunity moving forward as well. We also speak at various events as well as they come up and as people ask. So also just to kind of give an update and an idea just so that you're all aware. So in terms of some housekeeping things.
Yes, so as you see, there is this lovely glass wall. I love it when y'all write a lot of stuff. So I've been writing like what's one thing you're grateful for. Right now it's what's your favorite fall activity. So I'll probably change them about once a week, or once they get full and then I'll write them down. But feel free to add stuff, but make sure it's appropriate, obviously. And just have fun with it. But this is a great way just to build community because again, this space is for y'all to have fun in. And while we're at it, like, again, just know that our office, just knock and let us know. I usually shut the door when I'm in there just because like I'm listening to music out loud. I want to be respectful of people who are in the bigger office. But feel free to knock and come in. Like anytime I'm in the inner office is a good time to just come and talk. But that's the reason why I keep the door shut. It's not that I don't want to talk, but I want to be respectful of my
In terms of some office reminders, respect others in the space. Be respectful of if there are meetings in the space, be respectful of people's conversations. Just be kind to each other, but also use the space. Yes, we have committee meetings that go on in there all week. However, if there's not a meeting and you can check on the calendar too, everything that is happening in the office is in there, you can stop by if you're eating lunch. I know that Secretary Payne likes to eat her lunch in there, and so many others do as well, so always stop by. You can stay and study in there. Just be cognizant of that, or just be aware of that, so that you know that you can hang out in that space and use that space as well. And we want it to be a space that is fun and that you can use, and that can honestly be a safe space for you across our big campus, that it can just be a little corner that you have to kind of rest in. Also,
recycle. If you do not know what is recyclable, Oscar, so like the AI, they tell you. So with AI, what's cool about it is the more you use it, the smarter it gets. So the better able it is to tell you what is. But your plastic bottles, crush it, go outside, put it inside. Papers, all this stuff, like washing your Starbucks cup. I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit passionate about that.
that's one that I didn't know. Starbucks cup, well, before this, but Starbucks cups, and you can also compost your liquid if you don't finish your coffee, like I never finish mine. And then compost your liquid and then just put, like, do you have to rinse it out? Oh, well then you have to rinse it out, so that takes another step. But, and then you can put it in the back. But, yeah.
Yes, but like that also is like on the trash can, like if you think it's like, it's just like maybe a little gum wrapper, like that's the size you should be thinking about going into like the office trash can.
It can be a bit bigger than a gum wrapper, because a gum wrapper is a little small.
Yes, yes, yes. Use your brain about it, like, what's the word? Yes,
Use your best judgment.
Thank you. So use your best judgment. Obviously, don't put food in there too, because it's not like, we don't want rotting in there.
Also clean up after yourselves once you leave. Push in some chairs, do some things, because we do want it to be a space that we can all use, so just be cognizant of that as well.
And crumbs are like, please, yeah, just wipe it up and then throw it away.
All right, that's all we got. Any questions for us? And you know there's gotta be one.
Yeah. You guys can click in if you have a question.
That could be a fun question, don't stress it.
Senator Martin.
What is y'all's favorite like prompt that y'all have put up on the like window?
You know, we'll come back, well, the next time we check in with you, when we get a couple more into the series, we gotta finish out the semester.
Just keep in mind, just keep it in mind.
I did like the kind note that we received though.
Yeah, that's not so sweet.
That was so kind.
All right, Senator Ryan.
So I know that, awesome job with the etiquette dinner, by the way. I know that last year it was required for all of Senate to attend, and it seemed like it was a little bit different, that there's like a capacity for it. So one, is it required, and two, what is that capacity?
Yeah, so it is required for seniors, but if there's like you have class, like, don't stress, like, just talk to Lucas about that. And the capacity is 110, so basically 70 spots are reserved for ASG. So that's why I'm pushing out registration tonight, so for all y'all to sign up, because then tomorrow morning, we're doing all schedule sends to all the, so just for transparency, we're basically opening it up to people who endorsed us last when we were running, and then also to like other student leaders on campus, like such as Greek Life, athletes, GRN, et cetera, et cetera.
So we hope that with that list, we have a lot of student organizations that are represented, a lot of student leaders that are represented, and that we can all come together in that space. And also, too, it is important that also, if I know you have to let Speaker Pro Tem Orlando know, like, that if you're not going, but it would also really be helpful to shoot Jules a message so that we can also adjust, like, who we invite, because if one of you can't come, then that gives opportunity for another student leader that we have on campus to also come as well. Because the invitations have been tailored to make sure that ASG offers a seat.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Appreciate you all.
Alrighty, so moving on to our report from Secretary Alford. We can just welcome Secretary Alford down now. Groovy. Hey, party people. Mess this up. I always mess this up. Oh, thank you. Okay, this is gonna be kind of long, and sorry if I rush. You can ask me questions at the end. But so my update specifically as like what I have been working on, my Power of Words campaign, for those of you that saw it at the beginning of the year, basically we just do like fun little uplifting activities or prompts for people. There's been a couple of social media posts that have gone up for October. You can still go and like and comment and share those. But for right now, just kind of to give like way to other like things that I'm working on, that's gonna go on a break, and we'll resume prior to like finals week, so like students can get a little like boost of like happiness before finals week. And then end of the year safety event. So this is in the very, very, very beginning stages, but for the senators that were here and do remember, there is technically an SIB forum that is supposed to happen per my bylaws, and that's kind of just being changed around to look a little different this year. We'll be partnering with the Office of Student Wellness, Student Counseling, and then MUPD to just hold an interactive event that students can like come and meet the people and talk to the people and understand what safety looks like at Miami, because I know a lot of students have concerns about that. And then also this Student SIB Advisory Board. So for those of you that don't know, this is a big kind of responsibility as my position of Secretary of Safety. So I hold the SIB Student Advisory Board, which is a part of the CCRT team, which is the Community Coordinated Response Team. And basically, for those of you that want to know, that team is taking a pause. So they have work groups within the university that are for prevention and response that like work on bettering ways for students. And they're pausing those work groups, and no, that does not mean they're stopping prevention and response for SIV. It just means that they're focusing on the student voice, and they want to know where the problem is before they start fixing things that might not need to be fixed. And then also, we have 2 seats still open, so if anybody here is like, you know, that sounds really fun, I've sent the form many times for you to apply. Committee updates. So what my committee is doing. So nightcaps and prevention materials, these two kind of go hand in hand, but we will be tabling the end of next week. Basically just to like tell students before like a big like going out weekend in Oxford, like, hey, stay safe, be smart, stuff like that. We'll be handing out nightcaps. They were ordered the other day. They'll be here by Friday. We ordered 500 of them, keychains and scrunchies. I ordered more keychains than scrunchies just because I know some people like the scrunchie option, but keychains are versatile no matter what. And then we will be tabling at the end of the week, and it will be paired with prevention materials, so just like harm reduction and safe drinking, things that like not everyone would know because you're not 21 and not allowed to drink, and like stuff like that, as well as just kind of like prevention materials for SIV to make sure people are being safe. As well as, okay, this one, Greek life and ASG. This is very, 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 very complicated. So I encourage you, if you have any like questions, or if you're like, wow, that's something that's really interesting, I want to know more about that, please come and talk to me about it after, just because this is probably going to be a bigger thing than I can condense into this presentation. But we are working on creating just a more fluid way of conversing with Greek life. 30% of Miami University student body is Greek life, and that's a pretty big portion of us. And so we want to make sure that ASG and Greek life are working together and not against each other, and that we're accurately representing them, and they're also accurately representing like ASG. So just kind of working on solidifying a place for people to talk and everything like that, and that's just in the beginning stages, but I'll let you guys know more as it pops up. And then the mental health social. So she kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, but the mental health social is officially going to be held November 13th from 4 to 5:30 in the Wellness Studio. For those of you who have not been, it is very, very snazzy. I'm very, very excited. But so we'll have the Wellness Studio completely open for us, as well as the room next to us for food, that you'll just be able to come in. Right now it's either going to be dog therapy or art therapy. If the doggos are not available, you get to paint with watercolor, but that's just as fun. And also we'll have like self-care kits, which is something you guys can do personally to just like reassess like, hey, how can I better suit my habits and like better understand myself, as well as scent sachets. So for our lovely President Naya, who loves essential oils. And that's just a fun time. Like that is not a requirement. That's not something that I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, do work. No, that's like, I don't want to see schoolwork. I don't want to hear anyone say senator or secretary anything. That is for you to come eat some free Chipotle and have a good time. Questions?
All right, click in for any questions. Senator Martin.
Not allowed. Just kidding.
Could you just go a little more into detail in kind of what you were thinking for like the like connections you're looking for like IFC and Greek life and the other quad councils?
Okay, so basically this could take form in many, many, many different ways, but so the Greek life councils consist of Panhellenic, IFC, NPHC, and MGC. IFC and Panhell are not considered like student orgs in a sense of like they function separately than like say the baking club or something like that. But NPHC and MGC do work as student orgs, so they get their funding from us. And so the way that it would work is we're just going to kind of create a role within both their executive councils and our council that would kind of work together so that that way, like, when we're hosting a self-defense seminar and we want to include more of Greek life, we can reach out to that person and then that person can be like, oh my gosh, hey, like Greek life, did you know this is going on? And then like vice versa, if Greek life is doing something that pertains like ASG input or like something like that, they can work to kind of work with us and just establish more of like a connection because we are two pretty big parts of campus and right now like we don't work together as smoothly as we should.
Any other questions? Cool, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I accidentally skipped a slide in that process, which is why I looked super confused. So kind of going back, I'm gonna hear reports back for student concerns. Sorry about that. So if you have any student concerns you're reporting back from, please click in at this time. Your secretaries would have probably told you, hey, give us a report back. Click in.
Yeah, I did. Sorry.
Did it just go red when you clicked it?
No, it didn't. It was my green. No, you're fine. I'm recording something different.
Not cooperating. Okay. Wait, did it just unclick you?
I clicked out.
Okay. All right, we're gonna start with Secretary Payne.
Hi, I have like 10 because I have all of the dining ones, so I'm really sorry. This could be a little long. I will say everybody who submitted a dining concern got an email from me last week when we had the dining committee, so they should already know their responses, but just to make everything public. The first concern that we got was about there not being croissants in McCracken Market. They're back. As of October 13th, they should officially be back, so hopefully you guys like your croissants. The next one is that the Miami water bottles are included in the meal swipes are almost non-existent in the market and the water is really expensive. So for the first part of that, they ran out of the Miami water bottle labels and they're waiting for more to be printed. So currently, Miami water is being substituted for the lovely Aquafina. The price thing, that's out of their control. It's inflation. Inflation sucks. The next one is that there's not enough meal swipe options outside of Bell Tower. And then that was kind of a two-parter because someone also said it limits their options to the dining halls, which lately run out of food. If the dining halls run out of food, please say something. Don't just not eat. There's usually either more food being made or it's like 7:50 and the dining halls close at 8. But they'll give you food no matter what. And the current meal swipe options are Bell Tower, the York Street stuff in the markets, the dining hall, dining halls, I don't know why I said that. And certain hot meals from the markets. There's no plans to add to that currently. So I'm a little sorry about that one. The next one is about the pizza. They said that the pizza was better in better in Maple and Garden. They're working on, standardizing the process of their pizza. So that should be fixed hopefully very soon. The next one, I'm really sorry, I told you I had like 10. Is that there's no tomato soup in McCracken. As of October 13th, again, there should be significantly more soups available. So yay for soup. Someone else asked about whether or not it was possible to have takeout boxes in the dining halls. If we could bring that back. No, that is not going to happen. I'm sorry. Yeah, they just kind of believe at the current moment there's enough takeout options between Bell Tower and the market options. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And then the last one is that there's not enough variation, but so they're going to try and reevaluate the menu. I also just kind of want to add, like, hopefully you guys see a lot of these concerns are like very small. Please submit anything. If you just want to see something in the markets, I think Secretary Alford asked for flavored Red Bull and they had that within 5 days. So, you know, feel free to ask for things. We can get, we can do small things like that too. We don't always have to be like, solve gluten intolerance, you know.
All right, thank you. Secretary Alford.
So this is a response to the student concern about the slight uptick in like car and bicycle related accidents. I understand that this might not be like exactly what you're looking for, and honestly, I feel really bad that I can't give you more, but I do say join the MUPD Student Advisory Board, maybe they can help you out. But to the complaint itself, I just want to say please make sure that you're reporting all things to the MUPD, because their crime log, as well as them, say that they haven't had a single incident of accidents at all year, but I feel like that's not true. But that being said, so they have tried many of the things that was suggested on the form. They have signs that make sure that like people aren't speeding and tells them like, oh, you're going 50 and a 25. Like they have all of the things implemented, and unfortunately, it just comes down to being aware of your surroundings and making sure like, okay, like I'm watching before I walk into the street. Pedestrians do have the right of way, but at the same time, make sure that you're being cautious of where you're walking and what you're doing. Please don't walk if it doesn't allow you to walk. The red hand means that you don't get to walk. And then from the driver's side, just make sure you're being cautious of like people who don't pay attention, because pedestrians do have the right of way.
Thank you. Senator Day.
So I have 2 responses back from the Academic Affairs Committee. The first one is about the Ranella Learning Center not having enough time slots with everyone for accommodations or anything, especially during like exam heavy weeks like midterms and stuff like that. The response back was, the person who submitted it was Senator Ryan, who will also just be working on this concern for some, so that's the response back. And then for the second one was about health on campus, specifically the lack of a buffer between classes and sickness going around on campus. And the response back is that it is the prerogative of the individual faculty member to set attendance policy for each individual course, and the response of that faculty member to therefore inform students about that policy in their syllabus or another written document during the first meeting of the semester or whatever time that class starts within the term. Instructors can take account of class absences and determining course grades. If you're sick, then you have to get a letter from a doctor, either through the student's health services, urgent care, the Little Clinic at Kroger, or an online telehealth meeting.
Thank you. Senator Allison.
In response to a student concern submitted about noise levels in residence halls, I reached out to Dr. Belle Robinson, who works in the Office of Residence Life, and asked if she would be willing to work with her RAs to enforce quiet hours in dorms. She requested specific locations to focus this feedback, which unfortunately was not provided in the student concern, so just make sure you're being specific. But she is taking an active role in speaking to RAs, and she also sent a link for incident reports in residence halls that will be sent out to the student who submitted a concern, and any other students with related complaints.
Thank you. Senator Armentrout.
So for the Academic Affairs Committee, one of the concerns we got several times was over the use of Proctorio. Students were pretty uncomfortable with the recording aspect of it. So Proctorio, it's currently a issue that's undergoing discussion through the Miami administration. We don't think it's very likely there's going to be any decisions on it in the near future. We did want to mention that if they are using the feature of Proctorio where they scan the rooms, that isn't allowed and it should be reported, but besides with that, we don't really have any response.
Thank you. Senator Keating.
Yeah, I'm responding back to student concern about no color printing for RAs. Currently, RAs have access to free black and white printing in the center. And I did talk to several administrators in Res Life, and basically what they said is that we don't currently offer color printing because of budgetary concerns. but that you can use whole funds to print things out if you need to print out pictures for your intro board, things like that. You can request the P card from your hall director. And then also, of course, in the center we have die cuts and different types of and colors of paper, so you can cut out shapes and stuff like that too. So.
Thank you. Senator Bryant.
Thank you. So one of the concerns surrounded the doctoral regalia, in that Miami doesn't really share anything in that regard with some of the larger universities around that have pretty extensive doctoral programs. So we deferred that to the graduate student program, and we will let you know once they come back to the committee with that information. The second thing is, in years past, there's kind of been a calendar for a student's schedule that was pretty recognizable and generally easy to access within the Miami system. When BannerWeb was updated, this calendar view was removed. So we're going to bring it up to the Vice President of IT in the next meeting, and then a senator and committee will look into correspondence from before the change regarding the location of that calendar.
Thank you. Senator Ferguson.
This is in response to a student concern about shower temperatures in some of the halls. I reached out to the physical facilities guy, Cody Powell, and he told me that everything looked within normal ranges temperatures-wise. There have been some incidents that were reported that they dealt with, but it's more like individual issues. But overall, the hot water tanks are at their designated temperatures, like where they're supposed to be, and the return temperatures are in their designated ranges. He told me that if there are more concerns concerning showers, that every single one of those needs to be reported like as soon as possible, just so that they can make sure that the water is hot enough. Another thing that he talked about was possibly, that was asked about, was raising the temperature, because it's only set to 120 degrees, which for a shower isn't really that hot. So that's something that they can also be looking into. That's what I have.
Thank you. Senator Raba.
So coming back to the Miami app for ease of access to any tools that is given to students, we just finished looking at our options to see what we do want to put into that app. So we are going to be working more on that as a long-term initiative to try and get that going. And we also are thinking about talking to David Seidel to work an EIT representative to see how we can work on that more. And also talking about the more uses of the residential IDs, i.e. guest passes. We're still going to investigate the safety aspect of that a little bit more at this time.
Thank you. And lastly, Senator Martin.
So in regards to the student concern about hand sanitizers in Armstrong, the Safety and Wellness Committee has reached out to the appropriate administrator to see about getting more, but for the time being, there are hand sanitizers in Armstrong. Not as much as I'm sure the student who sent the student concern out would like, but we're still hearing back from the administrator, but for the time being, there are hand sanitizers in Armstrong.
Thank you. And I'm just going to hand it over for Parliamentarian Davies to give a quick update on any new student concerns.
Great. Thank you, Speaker Bakshi. So two of these concerns have already been responded to, which are the concern about car and bike accidents from Senator Cook, which was committed and responded to by Secretary Alford and Safety and Wellness, and then the concern about noise in dorms with music. That was committed to the on-campus committee and responded to. That was sent in by a student outside of ASG. And then we have three other concerns since the last Senate meeting. One about the website links being down, which is directed at the Communications Committee. A concern from Senator Olive Abram about the emergency notification system, which is directed to the Safety and Wellness Committee, and then a concern from Senator Spira about high credit requirements in certain majors, which has been directed to the Academic Affairs Committee. Keep submitting those concerns and using the form and send it out to your friends so we get lots of concerns to respond to and things that can generate initiatives for us.
Thank you, Parliamentarian Davies. And with that being said, guys, please continue to submit those concerns. I've been working with Secretary Markham in terms of advertising this link to essentially the entire campus. So we're working on flyers, stickers, whatever, to basically market this student concern form to the entire student body. So that is being worked on between elections and the comms committee and just like all together trying to get this out. But really, you guys are the consistent source, so please make sure to continue getting those and submitting them. I'm going back to, where are we at now? All right. All right, so now we'll hear from Chief of Staff Isfording and our student trustees, John Fazio and Nick McNeil, and please welcome them.
Well, I'm going to be introducing our student trustees, so Nick McNeil and John Fazio, and they're very nicely dressed up too, so I commend them for that while I'm wearing this. But well, I was going to say, we all look pretty dead inside because I know stress and college can be hard, so I just need, if you could stand over this way, or here. Everyone just hum with me. La. Keep going, keep going. La. I'm gonna jump up. La. 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 Thank you. I don't know. I'm trying. I don't know. I'm a student like you, and I'm stressed out a lot too. But like I said, I am welcoming our student trustees, John Fazio. Do you want to just go by Jack? Jack? Yeah, he also goes by Jack. And Nick McNeil, and as you know, I am the chief of staff for this year, so I have the full opportunity of running this committee. So I'm just going to give up the floor to them first. So if you could come over here and you just.
Thank you for reminding me that I'm tone deaf, Jack. I appreciate that on a Tuesday evening, and also for reminding me that I don't need to wear a suit. That would have been nice to know as well. Hey everybody, my name is John Fazio, but like Jack said, I go by Jack. Everyone's welcome to call me Jack. I am a student trustee of Miami's Board of Trustees. I was appointed in June of 22, so last year, and my term ends in March of 24, so coming up. I'm a junior, majoring in microbiology, and I'm also on the club swim team. I work in funded research in my department, and I'm a mentor with Big Brothers Big Sisters. And because there are two of us, this is Nick. Nick is the other student trustee on the board, and he's going to tell you a little bit about himself.
Hi, I'm Nick McNeil. I am a junior and I'm majoring in political science and journalism. And on campus, I'm involved in the Government Relations Network and College Republicans. I see quite a few familiar faces from both of those organizations here, so see you all again.
And before we're here tonight with Jack to talk about an interesting opportunity, a really exciting opportunity that's coming up in the next couple of weeks here on campus. But before we do, I want to tell you guys just a little bit about the Board of Trustees, because sometimes people have varying levels of information about the board. The Board of Trustees is Miami's sort of top governing body. Its members are appointed by the governor of the state of Ohio and confirmed by the Ohio Senate. All members of the board itself is responsible for top top-level administration of the university, so the university's finances, high-level academic decisions, and university policy changes, serious university policy changes. The board is the organization that President Crawford reports to and his vice presidents report to, and they're responsible also for like long-term and strategic planning, not necessarily day-to-day management of the university, but what's the university doing this year, next year, and 10 years from now. The board has 17 members, 2 of them are students, which is what Nick and I do, but we're here today because we're looking for another student to join the board of trustees because in March I'm leaving.
So here are a few of the roles and responsibilities that you would be taking on in selecting student trustee. So the most obvious is delivering reports to the board during every meeting. There are 5 every academic year. Regularly meeting with student organizations and administrators across campus, reporting to ASG and the University Senate. Working closely with many of the other student leaders regularly, like the ASG student leaders here. Serving as ex officio members of committees, being involved with numerous campus initiatives. And here's one of the more important things. Student trustees are expected to remain on campus during both semesters of your term, so if you are planning on studying abroad for one of the people applying or planning on studying abroad, they cannot be a student trustee or they will be automatically not considered for study abroad programs.
One of the biggest and really only charges of being a student trustee is that we are responsible for communicating the student experience to the board. ASG exists to serve in a lot of different capacities, and a lot of them are very much laid out. The student trustees exist only to provide advice and context to the board when they're making decisions. Last year, for example, the board was considering policy on mental health, charging a mental health fee for students, which I'm sure many of you have heard about. That was something that they came to us for. They asked how we would feel about that, how the students would feel about that, and how beneficial we would think it would be. Those are the kinds of things that you could expect. Those are the kinds of decisions you could expect to be involved in, the kinds of things you might be asked to provide perspective on. We're, again, here today because we are looking for people to take on that role and apply in the next couple of weeks. In order to apply, you do need to be an Ohio resident and a U.S. citizen. Because these applications are done through the state of Ohio, they require that you be an Ohio resident. So out-of-state students are not eligible to apply. If you're on the Oxford campus, which I think everyone in this room would be, you do have to be a full-time student as well, and you have to be able to serve a 2-year term. So you must be an underclassman, a freshman, or a sophomore who's planning on being here for the next year, or someone who's thinking about doing a 5th-year master's program or something like that. At the moment, the application is live on the ASU website. Almost live on the ASU website. You can find it there, and we have it linked at the end of our presentation. The application is due in a couple of weeks. It's not a very long application. And after that, high-quality applications will be interviewing with the selection committee made up of the 2 of us, student body leadership, a couple of cabinet members, and senators at large from ASG, which we'll get to in just a minute. Once the committee interviews all of the candidates, or all the candidates who are eligible, that committee will choose 5 finalists to send to the state of Ohio. The governor and his appointment secretary will interview those candidates and make an appointment, and that person must be confirmed by the Ohio Senate through the Higher Education Workforce Committee. Which brings us to the other ask that we're making today.
So this is my part that I get to do, and I get to actually have senators on my committee. So I just want everyone, if they can raise their left hand, raise them. Raise your right hand. Put your left hand down. Put it up again. Jazz hands. Who wants to be on my committee? All of you? Perfect. I already got some people. So what are the perks of this? Well, you get to work with me. You get to work with our trustees. Naya's on the committee. Student body president Naya's on the committee. Student body. Did I say Naya? Oh, goodness. This is what happens, I swear. Smith, VP Jefferson, then we also have Secretary Manstack, and we have our Secretary Aganello, and then we're going to have 2 of you. And potentially, I am reaching out to our graduate, what is that? Oh, I forgot our speaker. Oh, gee. I'm good. Okay. We're also going to be reaching out to our graduate student association, so we might have a representative from them, and then also our regional campus. So look forward to that. I will be making that ask for them. But some of the things that is very cool about this selection committee, and I know the two people standing behind me are aware, is that you're selecting people who will be representing the university as students on a higher level. And honestly, I think that's such a phenomenal thing to be a part of. When I learned in my bylaws that I would be in charge of this committee, I knew going into it that someone, you know, this makes it sound dramatic, but their lives would change. Mainly the fact that there's a lot of networking opportunities, and also that they get to see a lot of cool things. And if you're out of state, or if you are an upperclassman who wants to be part of this, then I highly recommend that you do this. I do want to say, though, you have to be available November 9th, so 5:15 to 6. Go free ahead, look at your calendar, and also it's Sunday, November 13th from, I know it says 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., that's 12 hours. It's probably not going to take that long. We just have it allocated just in case it does take that long. But we don't expect it to be in that long, so don't worry about that. Then we have the 19th as a backup. So that's my just ask is I need two of you, and we'll be entertaining a motion to get members. I just would like two of you who are passionate about this and want to be able to select someone who can make a real change to be on my committee for that. So I'll take any questions, and the QR code was supposed to be on the slide, but I guess I submitted it to you. Don't worry, I can go send it into the Slack, so I'll have that out for you, but there is a QR code for the applications for the student trustees, not this application if you aren't interested in this. So we'll take any questions that you have.
All right, Senator Mladenovska. I'm just wondering, do you have to be a U.S. citizen for the selection committee, or is that not a requirement?
You don't need to.
Those requirements are only for trustees.
Senator Day.
You said one of the days is Sunday the 13th, but that's a Monday. Did you mean, is it the 12th or is it the 12th?
Sunday.
The Sunday.
I swear, I'm all over the place.
And that 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. is because the applicants have some flexibility in when they're available. We can't mandate them to interview at times when they're not available. So do not expect to be interviewing and deliberating for 12 hours.
All right, any other questions? We need to elect 2 people, so if you have questions, this is the time. Parliamentarian Davies.
Gosh, Chief of Staff is wording, can you be a student trustee and hold another position of ASG?
That is not the question. It is not forbidden anywhere. There are no rules against it.
The answer is no.
Is the answer actually no?
Yes.
Is there a rule against it?
Yes.
Then the answer is no.
Thank you, Parliamentarian.
Senator Mladenovska.
Wait, so the senators are not eligible for this, or?
First, they're presenting to inform you guys, and if you are interested, you would have to resign as a senator once you're selected. So you could apply, and if you got it, then you would just peace out of here.
The application process is not short, and my term does not end until March. So you would not be looking to assume this role until May of next semester. So that would give you the rest of this year as an ASG senator.
Can we nominate people?
They would.
For the next part.
Okay.
So just to clarify, there's the application for his position. That's completely separate. But tonight, we're electing / nominating 2 senators in here to be on the committee that would, to select who's going to replace it. Yes. Okay. Any other questions? Senator Ryan.
Are we allowing for time for consideration? Could we do this? Could we elect them next meeting so that people have time to consider?
It's already in the agenda.
Okay, can we take it out of the agenda?
No. We can have a recess if that would help.
Okay, I just want to make sure that everyone has, one, their questions answered, and two, that like they have time to consider if they want to, like, if they were available for those times, and actually have senators like be able to appoint them for that.
This was all sent in the agenda in the email yesterday. Secretary Alford.
So, I don't know if I'll be able to help with this, but I sat on the committee that, like, what you guys are nominating right now last year. I was one of the senators that got to sit on this. And just for a little insight, it's a very important role, but it's also not as scary as they're making it sound. You are just getting to hear the people and the applicants and deciding what you think will be the best fit. I did it specifically because I was an out-of-state student and I didn't have the opportunity to sit in that role. But it is also something that is very important in a sense of like whoever sits in that role decides very important things. And if you want to have a say in that, and if you feel like you have an important voice and you don't have the opportunity to sit where Jack is right now, then this is the next best thing. I hate to say it that way, but that's kind of the way that I viewed it since I wasn't allowed to because I'm not an Ohio State student. But I would highly, highly, highly recommend that they take a recess and that you guys think about, is this something that I want to do? Do I have an opinion on this? Do I have something to say? Because it is something really important.
Thank you. Senator Ferg.
The other thing to consider, since we're asking for you to consider two things tonight, one, if you meet the criteria to apply to fill the role that I will be leaving, and also to possibly sit on the selection committee. If you think you're going to apply, you can't also be on the selection committee. You don't get to do both. In fact, people who apply never learn the identities of the other applicants, so you cannot do both. That is just one thing I wanted to point out.
All right, Senator Ferguson.
Just to clarify, so on the selection committee, those 3 days that are on there are the only like required ones. There's
Yes,
nothing after
and
that.
yeah, nothing after that, and just respond to any emails or communications that I send out, but those are the only 3 days. Because again, the third date we might not need it.
Thank you.
Senator Mlodinowska. Is the process for selecting people to sit on the committee the same as how we did?
It's like Siri.
Okay. Senator Martin.
Could you just go back and show the times again for, yeah.
Yes. Sorry. And again, the 13th is not actually the 13th. Thank you, Senator Day. It's actually the 12th. Right?
Senator Parker.
So I'm sorry, I just want to bring up an earlier point. We're considering, people in the room tonight are considering if they want to be on the selection committee, if they want to be a student trustee, and this was all informed to us yesterday. I feel like that's not a lot of time for us to adequately make plans, and if the meeting's not until the 9th, I think at least a recess is, I would say, absolutely necessary, but if there's any chance we can move this off the agenda into next week and hold the vote when people have more time to assess their schedules, I think that should be considered.
I'll entertain a motion for a recess later. Senator Ossobo.
When are the applications, and this might have been in the PowerPoint, I just missed it, but when are the applications due?
They're due in a couple of weeks. Is it Jackson?
It's going to be due in 3 weeks. I'm just double checking to make sure I have everything correct. But when that QR code is sent out to the Slack, which I'll literally do once I get back up there because I have the graphic on my laptop, then you'll have it.
And it's 3 weeks to prepare a resume, and we ask you 3 questions. So it is not a very long application at all.
So then I kind of second the point about maybe moving it, this nominations to
This nomination can't be moved. It's going to be done tonight.
Point of information, why not?
Because the agenda has been approved as is today. All right, Senator Young, last question, and then I'll entertain a motion.
Alrighty, so this is just, I think, to clarify confusion. Right now, the only thing we're voting on is basically Jack's committee, correct?
Right now, you guys aren't voting on anything.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, this is information regarding an election happening after this
Yeah, so after that election, we're only voting on Jack's committee because we have access to that application to do in our own times, right, for the trustees?
Yes.
So we're not voting for trustees tonight.
No.
That's a separate thing that you do on your own time.
Yes.
So I think that that's where some confusion is. But,
Yes.
okay, perfect.
All right, thank you. All right. Okay, last question. Senator Parker.
I just think the confusion is people should have some more time to figure this out.
That was the last question. The agenda has been set. We're gonna move on, so. All right, anything else you guys wanna add?
Thank you so much for letting us come in tonight and take a little bit of time. As far as the selection committee goes, per ASU bylaws, Jack chairs that, so any questions should go to him. But if you have questions about the application, or if you want more information about being a student trustee, what that might look like, if you're interested in applying, you should receive our contact information after you leave tonight. Jack will send that out. And we are always available for other concerns that you may have as well that are completely unrelated to what we talked about tonight. So thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right. So, considering, I think that you guys have made it clear you guys need some time to think about this, talk to the right people. I'll entertain a motion to recess for about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back. You guys can go talk to them during that time, but yeah. All right, there's been a motion that's been, to recess for 5 minutes, that's been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Oh. You can.
Sorry. I know I'm not, I'm not sure what the right process is. Can it be 10 minutes? I don't, I'll.
The motion was just made for 5 minutes. And also,
My mic is not working, sorry.
okay, well, we're going to motion for 5 minutes now.
As Secretary Alford mentioned, she was on the committee at one point. I've also been on the committee. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us. And Senator Grady, so feel free to talk to us if you have questions.
Absolutely.